You're still watching The Conversation. Let's go to DR Congo, where this Wednesday, millions of Congolese citizens vote in one of the most anticipated elections in 2023. The high-stakes vote could represent the second peaceful civilian-to-civilian transition in the Democratic Republic of Congo's history since independence from Belgium in June 1960. There have been mounting concerns about transparency, especially after the European Union observer mission pulled out and hundreds of thousands of people in areas the volatile East are unable to vote because of spiraling insecurity from armed groups. Now, joining me on the program to discuss this is Gideon Beleke, Congolese public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for your time, Gideon.
Thanks for having me.
Now, let's start off with a statement by Denis Kadima, that's the president of the Independent National Electoral Commission. He said, we have faced a lot of challenges. The first came because we were appointed very late. Of course, he highlighted a couple of other setbacks. Now, do you think this will in any way affect the credibility of the elections?
Absolutely. There are a lot of irregularities in these elections. If you see what is happening currently on the ground, it's definitely unfortunate. Regarding on what Denis Kadima said, he made a statement, but still, if we have a critical look at what is happening all across the country, we receive images from other provinces. There are a lot of irregularities. So some centers are not open right now, and the election was meant to start at 7 a.m. It passed at 3 p.m. Some centers are not open. Some people are talking about tomorrow, while the votes are supposed to be held today. And so it's confusing, and we actually have fear that we are going toward the chaos.
Now, let's talk about the importance of this particular election when it comes to the future of democracy and also the political landscape in Congo, DR Congo. How important will you say this election is?
Well, elections have always been important. Elections are important because they allow people to express themselves freely, especially for a country like the Congo, where we've had elections that have been somehow painted fraudulent, especially 2018 elections. We had a lot of oppositions and a lot of irregularities again. And if we put everything together, we come to a conclusion that we're not moving in the right direction, because whenever people go to the polls to elect their leader, there is usually a lot of manigance of politicians that take charge, take control, and they use fraudulent ways in order to deviate people from voting and for expressing their will through the polls, and that's really unfortunate. So, in terms of democracy, I fear that we are not moving forward. We are moving backward, and it's really, really unfortunate. We had hope in these elections, but since the beginning of the year, we've seen a lot of irregularities in terms of organization. The electoral files was incomplete. The procedure they were using was fallacious. We had a problem with the electoral law that was imposed without a consensus. We had a problem with the electoral card, some of them that were in a bad quality. So there are a lot of irregularities that, of course, showed that we were going actually to a wrong direction. And today, it's election, but if you see what is happening all over the country right now, is chaos. All right. So I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Okay, now the election chief, that's the umpire president, actually did say that part of the challenges they face is topography, and for that reason, they have to sort of deliver materials using aeroplanes and helicopters, which to him is very capital intensive. Now, my question is, with the resources available, do you actually think that the country can pull off credible elections?
Everything requires great preparation. If you prepare things in a bad way, you will have a negative result. So they had a bad preparation. That's why they are delivering bad results today. We started discussing about these things 1 year ago, and they had all the time to prepare themselves so that people could go and vote for their leaders. But unfortunately, what is happening right now, Mr. Denis Kadima and his crew, they are leading the country towards chaos. They had all the time to prepare for all eventuality. They had all the time to lead Congolese to proper, fair, impartial, and well-organized elections. They are saying that they have problem of logistics, and you can't resolve problem of logistics few days before elections. They had time to do that. They had time to prepare their own staff. They had time to
But he said they were appointed pretty late. So for that reason, everything had to be at, what I call it, a top pace.
I don't think it's about the appointments. I don't think it's about the appointment. Even after the appointment, they had time. It's never about the appointment. This is a result of a preparation. I feel like these people are working, with the regime in place, just to steal the will of the Congolese people again and to maintain the country in the abject poverty and the system of oppression and looting.
Now, let's talk about the participation of the people themselves. How would you rate voter behavior so far?
Well, what I really appreciate is the fact that most people they showed up today. People went to the polling stations. People went to vote. But unfortunately, what we've seen all across the country in many places, people they went to the polling station, but they found that some polling stations are closed. They found out that some polling stations don't have the voting machines. They found out that some polling stations they have voting machines, but the voting machines don't have the actual codes. So they are waiting to receive the codes, and this creates a delay. And the thing is, elections are supposed to be held in 11 hours. So I don't know what are they going to do, because we have so many cases like this. We have millions and millions of people who didn't vote today, and they went to the polls. Though the people wanted to vote, the people went to vote since early morning. You could see people at 6 a.m. going to the polls. People are really enthusiastic. People want to vote because they want to express they are willing. They totally understand that this is the opportunity to vote for their future. They totally understand that this is an opportunity to vote for their well-being, and they are willing to do that. But the thing is, the organization of this election is a completely chaotic.
So what do you envisage post-elections happening?
Trust me, we are moving toward the crisis. We are moving toward the post-electoral crisis right now. Because I don't know what's going to happen about all these people that went to the polling station and that are not voting and that are now rioting in certain areas. I don't know how we're going to control them. Secondly, I don't know what the authorities will say, if they proclaim the results without taking consideration these people who went to the poll station and they didn't vote. It's not as if they weren't part of the electoral list. They were part of the electoral list. They went to the polling station. It's none of their problem. It's the problem of the CENI and the organizer of the election. So how are they going to explain that? How will they proclaim the result of the elections if people didn't vote? So, they are putting us in a critical situation. And I fear that we are moving toward the crisis. So the thing is, the Mr. Kadima and others will be held accountable. Actually, with a club of lawyers, we are actually putting a file together to take him to a trial. Mr. Kadima received $1 billion to organize these elections. But looking at what is delivering to the Congolese, this is inadmissible. All right. This is something we cannot accept.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Gideon Baleke, Congolese public affairs analyst. Well, but before I let you go, just a quick one. In terms of the political landscape of Congo, what do you think the people urgently need right now in 30 seconds?
Well, what the people need is real change. You know, the people need to change the paradox of living in a mineral-rich country with poor living conditions. They want to change that. They want to live with dignity. They want to improve their living conditions. They want access to healthcare. They want infrastructure. The people need to improve their living conditions. The people need hope. They need to see hope. They need to see the light. And that's why they are showing massively to vote. But unfortunately, the organizers of these elections, they were planning chaos. And that's where they're leading us.
All right. Thank you once again, Gideon. And of course, we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap on today's episode, but it's important we also emphasize that the opinion or views of every guest on the program actually is a reflection of their personal opinion and not that of News Central's. On that note, I say thank you for being an amazing viewer. My name is Dakbo Adigboyi. Bye for now.